Breaking news for you right now. New Fox News polls out. The first one, Fox News finds that 61% of voters say that what happens in Syria is important for U.S. national security. That's up from 48% who felt the same way just 2 years ago. And another poll shows that 46% of voters think that Russia's military action is strong and shrewd and that Vladimir Putin actually has the upper hand. That now as Russia is prepared to back a major ground offensive against insurgents in Aleppo, adding to the long history of sieges in this town that have changed the tide of history and power over centuries. Will this cement Russia as the ultimate power broker in the Middle East? Let's find out. Want to welcome on the show now Lisa Daftari. She is the Foreign Desk Editor-in-Chief, and General Thomas McInerney, Fox News military analyst. General, I got to go to you first because I'm in awe of all the sieges over the years at Aleppo and how important it's been with respect to who's the most powerful person on the planet. Here we are, Vladimir Putin's going to head up the next siege. I mean, this could change everything in the Middle East, can it?
It can, and it may have already changed it. Charles, it's a very prescient point that you brought up. We have a crucial battle, and I just got word that the Russians and the U.S. may have come to a Syrian air safety agreement, but whether they have or not, air power is going to determine who wins there. Is it the Assad forces? Is it ISIS? Or is it the Free Syrian Army? It's very difficult to determine how this is going to come about unless we get some form of agreement. And if we don't support the Free Syrian Army, they're going to be finished there.
Aleppo, of course, has shifted hands so many times since this whole thing began. It feels like, though, that Russia is going to take a scorched earth approach along with Syria and Iranian troops, and that means probably the Free Syrian Army becomes casualties in this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry, Lisa.
What we're coming to understand is that the U.S. or the West, the U.S.-led coalition and the Russians have entirely different agendas when it comes to Syria. And now that those agendas are at odds with one another, I think what happened was the West was looking at the problem in Syria in a very narrow scope. How can we get rid of ISIS? Or back then it was more so, do we really care about Bashar al-Assad staying in power or not staying in power? And now when you look further down the road, do we want Russia having access in the region that way? Do we want the Iranians coupled with Russia to have this access?
Well, now it's not even a matter of if we want. Right now, I want to say in this same poll that we just announced, there was another question about the Obama administration. To Lisa's point, having a clear strategy, an alarming 70% said no. Take a look at that. So again, how does this embolden ISIS, Russia, Iran, and can the United States really can afford to continue to be something of an innocent bystander? General McInerney, I don't know if it's too late for us to do anything there. It feels like Vladimir Putin's has taken firm control, and whatever happens, we're just going to be observers.
Charles, you're correct. He has absolutely outmaneuvered the United States. For 40 years, the United States dominated that region with our influence when the Egyptians kicked the Russians out of Egypt, and we controlled the area. And now, in 6+ years, this administration has given it away, and I believe that Syria is the linchpin. And which direction Syria goes is going to determine the whole Mideast equation, in my personal opinion. But I think the evidence is very clear. It's going to be a Shia crescent that sweeps across the whole Arabian Peninsula, and be very careful what happens in Jordan and Saudi Arabia, because we've been asleep at the switch and leading from behind.
General McInerney, Lisa Daftari, thank you both very much. Really appreciate it.